Let's start with happy marriages. The first topic is, should you have to still work at a marriage? Hugh Jackman was on the Today Show recently, and he was saying that he doesn't relate to that concept, and his 25-year-long marriage has been easy. So, do you think a successful marriage requires work?
Well, up until about a month ago, I would have agreed with Hugh Jackman. I would have been like, work? What work? Simon and I have been pretty lucky in that the relationship just has sort of grown and rooted with very little labor. But I won't get into too much of the details, but over the last month, we've had some epic fights. And I shouldn't actually even call them fights because they're one-sided. It's Simon on one end of the couch just sort of looking at me as I start off normal. Oh, I love you so much. You're my best friend. And then boom, 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 passive-aggressive. Then boom, 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 like mean to him. And it got to the point, and then I would apologize every morning and say, I don't know what's going on. But, everything's fixed now. I've checked myself. And then it would happen again. And it got to the point where he said, Jess, it feels like you don't like me anymore. And I was gutted and made an appointment. We sort of self-diagnosed that perhaps I'm perimenopausal. We were kind of hoping I was, because at least then there would be sort of like a diagnosis, a reason, exactly, Mel. But the blood work came back and I'm not. So we're I've been good, but at the same time, I feel like I need to do some work.
You know what, Jess, though? What an interesting story, because anybody who watches you on Instagram knows you've been going through a lot of stuff. Like, bought your first house, a major, major move to a different city, a lot of responsibility, I mean, you've got a lot on your plate. So did it just is that work leading you to, it's just channeling into the wrong place? Like, there was somebody I used to work with and they said, you only trip the ones you love down the stairs. In other words, it's the ones closest to you that tend to get the brunt of whatever stuff you're going through.
Mel, and I just realized a week before we moved, my mom had a fall and broke her hip. Which has been 6 weeks. So I think I have a bad habit of compartmentalizing and like, I'm fine, I can do everything, don't worry. And then,
and Simon gets the blah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it. You know what, though, Jess? I mean, I think that speaks to a lot. I mean, it takes such self-awareness and, Simon's patience, because you guys know each other so well. So he's obviously reading and going.
This has become a Jess therapy session.
Yeah, exactly. But
just sit down,
it's so
guys.
True. Oh. But isn't that what it's about? Like, and I say this because, Jess needs to sit in the couch. So, yeah. Jess, tell me about your dreams. What are you dreaming about?
Count backwards from 10, Jess.
More importantly,
you're in a field.
What do you guys think? Like, what do you guys think about this topic? I'm deflecting. You go.
No, hey, Meredith, I've been thinking about you, Meredith, because, you shared recently on our show, you just got engaged, so you are heading towards marriage. What is your philosophy about relationships and maintaining and connecting? Yeah, I'll put you on that seat right now. Yeah, let's hear it. Let's hear it.
Yeah, now I got to take it. We're not married yet, so I'm not sure about that part. But honestly, for me, I think when I hear this from Hugh Jackman, I mean, I enjoy his films, but I don't enjoy this sentiment because it feels like a little bit of a flex. Like, it feels like a little bit of a judgment buried in happiness. And I feel a bit offended that he's sort of insinuating, I mean, I know it's his marriage, but sort of insinuating that if your relationship does require work, that it's somehow not true love, like you're not meant to be or something. And I look at, all the other areas of my life, I've had to work at them, right? Yeah. Friendships, jobs, skill level, everything. And so why would my relationship be exempt from that? So I'm saying yes to some work. And I think that's cool. Like, as long as Rod's up for it too, I think that's what is going to stick us together, I say, without jinxing anything.
And God bless you, but he's like, a gajillionaire. So like, more money,
Rod.
no problems. Oh,
Hugh, right?
Yeah.
We're talking about Hugh.
Yeah, Hugh.
I was like,
Hugh Jackman. What? Hugh Jackman. And Hugh is also really busy as an actor. And there's that old adage, like, distance makes the heart grow fonder. How often is he actually with his wife? I just want to ask that question. He's on Hollywood sets. He's on sets around the world. And that adage does hold some kind of water when you think he gets to miss his wife. She gets to miss him because they're kind of many parts of the year living separate lives. I think it's a little rich, this kind of marriage advice coming from him, I think.
Well, okay, maybe let's go to Pauline on Facebook, because I think Pauline is framing this discussion as a matter of like how you describe a marriage. Pauline says, I think it depends on your definition of work. Being together, spending time together in general shouldn't feel like work. It should be enjoyable. However, communication and going through really hard things, I can tell you, does require work. Maybe the better term might be effort. And I think, Pauline, you're onto something. I think that, sure, you don't want to describe your marriage as work because there are a lot of connotations that come with that word, but everybody has to try. Even Hugh, in this interview and in previous interviews, has said that he and Deb, his wife, make time for each other. So that's effort. Like, it doesn't happen. You don't wave a wand around and then suddenly the two of you are communicating and engaging with each other. Mel, you mentioned he's on Hollywood sets all the time. It's easy for him to say and they can miss each other. But at the same time, when you are apart, you have to make an effort to stay in touch, calling each other, I don't know, FaceTime or whatever. Otherwise, the person becomes a stranger. And there have been times, I will have been married 20 years. In November, we're coming up on a big milestone of our marriage.
Big. Congrats.
And I don't know if I would say we have a successful marriages. We've gone through rough patches. We recently went through a rough patch near the beginning of the year. You know, Mel and Jess and Cynthia know about this a little bit. Without getting into too much detail, it required both of us trying to understand each other and to be there for each other in really hard times. And it's not effortless. You know, and the reward is amazing because we came through it, but it's not like surfing. God, like, you know what I mean? Like you have to really dig deep. And so I think it is a matter of how you talk about it and how you word it.